We back in the house. Victory lap time. Making it happen, y'all. Try to get my camera to focus here, see what's going on with it, man. Little bit of technical difficulties to start the show, but nevertheless, we are here and ready to go. I got a lot I want to talk about, man. A lot of different things that I haven't heard anybody said yet. Thank you for the two that are here. Richard Lyon, what's up, brother? Welcome. Let's see here. Now entering, what is it? Now entering the Paris? Oh, the Pharaoh's tomb. Come on in, come on, come all. Come on, come on. Comb. Oh, combo. Man, I'm telling you, man. I got to get my voiceover working. Hey, what's up, Knight? What's up, combo? Welcome. Richard Lyon. Knight, what's up, bro? No, what's up, brother? A win is a win. I'll take it. Hey, it was more than a win, and I want to definitely get into that because I want to spin a different narrative than what I've been hearing. Now, I haven't heard a lot of people speak. This camera though doesn't want to focus and work right tonight, but it's all good as long as you could hear me. See, now you guys know what I see. I don't know why it's not focusing, man. It's irritating me tonight. All right, man, that's real bad. Let me try to fix this real quick. There we go. That worked. That's a little better. There we are. There we are. All right, man. Before we start breaking some stuff down, yes, a win is a win. And, you know, it's funny. When you watch a game from a complete fan perspective, right, it looks different. It felt different. But what's amazing is if you go into the stats, so I'm only going to quote one man. Okay, because I'm not going to quote some of the other things that I've been hearing. I'm only going to quote one man, and it's not a content creator or anything, so we're good. It was none other than Josh Jacobs in a post-game interview that I saw with him where he said, hey, man, I have a lot of respect for those guys. That's a top 5 defense. I'm telling you, that's a really good defense. They're a top 5 defense. And I sat there and said, man, Josh, you're going to call them a top 5 defense. If you're calling them a top 5 defense, then we're right there with them. And I'm going to share with you why. Go to the box score stats, right? We had the same amount of plays. I mean, if you go right down the whole thing, all of it was identical, bro. Total yards, 260 to 261 Raiders. The only stat that they really beat us on was A, turnovers, B, they beat us in the run game by like 30 yards. We didn't even give up a 100-yard rusher, even though it seemed like we were getting gashed there at times, which I will say, yeah, we were for sure. And I'll tell you why I'm live right now too. Jason Raider, what's up, Raiders? All day. Let's see, Night. It's been okay. Yeah, about the round table. Yeah, you know, I got to get a hold of Mikey, Richard Lyon. I really got to get a hold of him and get something going. Let's see, Dark. Salute, Dark's in the house. What's up, Dark? That's what's up. You know, I haven't got to listen to a lot of people. Richard Lyon, Dark, don't forget to hit them likes. Thank you, Richard Lyon. Hit them likes. Let's go. Let's get these likes up and running. All right, so you guys are coming in. You're fired up. I'm got to clear my mind. Nick 209's in the house. What's up? A gritty win. Keep showing. What? Yep, keep showing ourselves. Keep shooting ourselves. Yeah, but you know what? I expected this. So let me get into this real quick, okay? Remember, everybody hit that like button. Let's do this. So, yeah, it wasn't pretty. I kind of figured it wouldn't be. First game of the season, we didn't really play our starters except for in joint practices where those are kind of more controlled than anything. So I knew there was going to be some shakiness. But again, all I keep hearing is that we struggled. Our defense... Look, there's things I'm not happy about the defense. That defensive line needs to play better. I'm sorry, hands down. All right? They need to play better. I keep hearing Tyree Wilson looks slow. 100% guaranteed. Kuntz looks fast. We need to play him more. 100% guaranteed. I'm not knocking any of that, right? People saying Merrick needs to start stepping up. Hey, you know what? Merrick still played a good game. All around, we could point fingers. Marcus Peters, I expected a lot more from him. He got a penalty, a crucial penalty at that. We had them stopped. So at the end of the day, when I watched that game, just like y'all watched that game, I was thinking a lot of the same things this time I went down the stats. Again, pull up those stats. Verbatim, all the way down, we are even. Same amount of plays. We had 1 yard and we gained 1 yard more than they did. And you got Josh Jacobs saying that's a top 5 defense. They made mistakes. We made mistakes. Hey, and I'm gonna give the Broncos some love right here, right? Since we just beat them and we got them in the last 7 games, we own them right now, right? I'm gonna give them credit though. Sean Payton's a real deal. And we took everything that they had. We were in their house. We were a mile high. We were gassed a little bit. And we stood in there and fought. That should have been their game. I mean, if you go look at those stats, they were even. They only beat us in rushing and turnovers. And yes, that was a crucial interception by Jimmy G. But if I'm going to sit here and listen to people say that Denver's defense, that's a really strong defense with a really good secondary, we were right there with them, bro. We did the same type of performance. Our defense gave up the same kind of a performance they did, except we gave up more rushing yards, and we still didn't give up 100 yards rushing. Not a bad start, in my opinion. There's a lot to fix. You heard Josh McDaniels take the podium talking about there's a lot of errors. We got to get in here, and now we got some stuff on tape. There's a lot of corrections. It wasn't pretty. I'm not trying to sit here and say that we went up against a top 5 team and we beat them, but Russell Wilson was the old Russell. I mean, he might not have been Super Bowl champion Russell Wilson, right? But he was back into a high-quality quarterback playing situation. He played good. He played outside the pocket. He threw the ball on the run. I'm telling you, man, it's salutations, Raiders. Raider Nation from a Raider Dangerfield, who's up in the house. What's up, Raider Dangerfield? Combo. I didn't see our defense actually clicking. That's what I'm trying to talk about. I didn't either. They didn't click together until maybe, let me see what he's saying. According to the fourth quarter, Max. Okay, so before we get started, he's talking about Max Crosby in the fourth, Max, because you're right. This is our first game. Yeah, I mean, they're going to take some time to click. Shrey Budapity, welcome, brother. All right, let's see. GG to you guys. Good game to you guys. You know what, Shrey? It was a good game, I feel, all the way around. It was both of our first appearance of the season. Both of us were coming on. We had a lot of new pieces. They were dealing with a whole new offense, a new defensive coordinator, who's a good one, by the way. They really had a game plan for Josh Jacobs. They shut him down. They really had our running game in check. And, yeah, maybe our offensive line could do a lot better. But once again, I'll say, let us get some rhythm. Let me go ahead and give my game balls. I got 2 game balls, one for offense, one for defense. You could see it on the thumbnail when it posts later, or if you watch the beginning of the show. Hands down on defense, it was Max Crosby. There was one series, the first series where we finally got off the field, Max controlled that whole series. He had a pressure, or they had a hold, a sack, a pressure. That guy was all over the place on that drive. And I'm telling you, he was the only consistent engine that cooked on defense all day long. There was a lot of surprising players. I think Diablo had a good game except for the face mask. I think our secondary, where they lacked in some of the coverage, they made up for in tackling. They really did a good job coming up to the line of scrimmage. You know, they were put in a lot of situations. It was almost like by design that they wanted to put some pressure on our corners. I thought they played really well. Yes, you had the Marcus Peters error. You had the Diablo error, or the Luke Masterson error on the punt. You know, all those points should have been taken off, but I think that went 2 ways. I think that went both ways, right? I think that we made our mistakes in the red zone. They made their mistakes in the red zone. They missed an extra point. They missed a field goal. You know, we should have had some points so that we left out there on the field with that pick. But at the end of the day, for the first game, and if I had anything I wanted to say to McDaniels, maybe you should start playing these guys a little bit more in the preseason, get them a little bit more ready for week one. All right. But Max Crosby, my hat goes off to you, brother. I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. If I had to give a runner up to Max, you know what? I'd have to give it to Hobbs. I personally like the way Hobbs played. Either Hobbs or Jacoby and Bennett, only because that was his first game. He made some mistakes too, but I thought for the most part he held his own, especially as a rookie, you know, and that offense was clicking at times. But it's funny, like I said, go look at the game stats. Same amount of plays, Same amount of first downs. Same amount of first downs gotten by passing and rushing. Everything was almost identical down the board. We had a stronger passing game. They had a stronger running game. Total yards for the whole game was 261 to 260. Do the math, guys. I could sit here. I'm going to be honest with you. After the game, I was like, you know what, man, this defense is irritating me because you know me, I've been drinking the Kool-Aid. I still got Kool-Aid stains all over my shirt. And that defense did not live up to the hype from a fan's perspective watching the game. But then when I went to the stats, because I thought Denver's defense played better than we did. But they didn't. They just didn't. So just mind-blowing for me when I started looking at the numbers and seeing how equal it was down the board. And I'm not saying our defense is what Josh Jacobs said about them being top 5 or anything like that, but we held our own. Jimmy G looked good by Shrey Bodapity. You know what, dude? He looked fantastic. I'm going to get into him in a minute. Couldn't get any pressure. No, so where we lacked, our offensive line lacked in opening holes for the run. They did a great job protecting Jimmy G all day long. And I got a couple things I want to say about Jimmy G. Richard Lyon, Mayor looked good today. I said it in my preview show. Watch out for that guy. He knows how to get open. If you're gonna try to lock down and shut down Devontae Adams, who still had, I think it was like, I'm trying to go off the top of my head. I'm going to mess this number up. 10 or 11 catches for 66 yards. Not a normal good day that Devontae Adams would usually put up, but that's pretty solid numbers. But then on the other side, you had Jacoby really shining with like 87 yards. So, again, that guy did exactly what he's supposed to do. Okay, Devontae's covered. He knew how to get open. He knows how to catch the ball. Look for some big things. We might be missing him for a week, but he'll be back soon. Dark. Here we go. A lot to work on, 100%. I'm sure they will correct these mistakes. I believe so too. I think Patrick Graham is responsible for the defense for not my thing jumped. For not being able to click. It sucks that we only have Max out there putting in the work. Dark, I agree with you 100%. And we talked about this earlier this week that I believe Patrick Graham's on the hot seat. He has to fix this. He has to get it right. There's a lot that's on his shoulders, and he should be held accountable even today. I think that he's playing. I think he's playing too soft. If I had to be honest, lately, you got to let these guys loose a little bit. We were playing a soft zone. Raider by nature. It wasn't pretty, but it's a win. I'm with you, baby. Raiders, 100%, man. Sometimes it doesn't have to be pretty, right? It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be efficient, and efficient we were. I want to get into Jimmy G here in a minute. Richard Lyon, I thought Bennett played pretty well for a rookie. 100%, bro. I agree with you 100%. Let's see. It took Patrick Graham almost 3 quarters to finally set a plan. Now, okay, I didn't finish that, Dark. I want to give you the respect. To get a plan to slow down the Broncos, to slow the Broncos down. And that's what I'm talking about. And again, if you go to the stats, dude, the numbers are the same. But I will say this, the only excuse I'm going to give Patrick Graham, and it's a soft one, because he really needs to do a better job of getting these guys prepared, is we didn't know exactly what the new Sean Payton offense was going to be, right? I mean, they kind of had to play it out for a while and really get a good grasp on top of the fact of getting these guys out there in a full game, gelling together. And again, advantage Broncos. We were sitting there in Mile High Stadium. I know they call it something else. I'd always call it Mile High. Playing in a Mile High altitude. Josh Jacobs was talking about being winded out there. There was a point where the announcers were talking about all the Raiders had their hands on their hips because they were fighting for air, and they were able to keep their composure. They went toe-to-toe with these guys. Toe-to-toe. Not knowing what to really expect, had to adjust on the fly. I think their halftime adjustments proved worthy in this game. I think they did a lot better job than last year going into halftime, readjusting, and coming out, especially on defense, and actually made enough plays to get the job done. Let's see. Combo, I really hope Jacoby is good after that hit. I think he'll be fine. He's a tough dude, but I know a lot of people are reporting, and I'm assuming myself that we might miss him next week. But I think, this is where Wilson is going to come in and have some of that same pedigree with this offense being playing in his whole career to come and make some plays. I think we're going to finally see see the rookies get a shot here. I mean, I was shocked and see most of our rookies didn't make the active roster, especially it wasn't Turner. Well, I don't know why his name's slipping my mind right now, but the young wide receiver, Tucker. There you go. I wanted to see Tucker out there, and he was inactive. Richard Lyon, combo facts. Okay, let me see. Let's see. Metal Slug. Defense only allowed 3 points in the second half. 100%. And that's what I'm talking about. I think the adjustments were made. I still didn't think they played to the way I wanted them to or I expected them to. And again, this is from a fan perspective, bro. Like, we expect way more from them. That's why when I read the stats, it was completely shocking. The defense, and there's a lot of areas they need to get better at, especially in that pass rush needs to become more, man. I need to see, you can't be Max Crosby show all day. See, Tillery had a nice play. They had some errors. They got to clean some stuff up. But you know what? All in all, like you guys said, a win's a win. We left a lot of points out there. We didn't have a lot of possessions. It was an awkward game for that. But my other game ball for the offense, I've already pretty much put it out there. It's Jimmy G. And I really want to get in. And you saw the difference. I heard Josh Jacobs talk about him commanding the huddle, how he has the respect of everybody in the huddle. Yes, that includes Devontae Adams. For anybody who wants to say Devontae is going to be mad, I'll just go ahead and put that out in the universe right now. That's not going to be the case. But yes, of course, Jacoby Myers, because Jimmy G has this offense down already. He was able to go through his progressions. Jacoby was where he needed to be at all times. He wasn't always the first option, but he was always there to make the play when needed to be called upon, and it was very obvious. So I think Devontae is poised to have a really good game coming up, right? Even that pass that they missed going down the sideline, that was a well-thrown ball. I mean, it was a great play by Surtain. You can't take that away from him, but it was placed where Devontae went up. He high-pointed it, but Surtain just made the play right there with him, was able to break it up. I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. But let me tell you where I was more impressed by Jimmy G. Let me get into this rule. Well, let me say what I have to say, and then we'll get into the comments. As a well-known Niner hater, right, and Jimmy G being a 49er for all those years and watching him get into the Super Bowl and the AFC Championship game or NFC Championship game and whatnot, I never once would you can find me anywhere. You can't talk to anybody that knows me that ever heard me say anything good about Jimmy G. I'm going to put that out in the universe right now. I just never have. Like primarily probably because he was a Niner. And there was a couple of games where I felt like he was just like, Jimmy G wasn't it for me, man. And when we got him, I was like, okay, I understood why we got him. And then I had to respect him enough to say, you know what? You can't knock what he has accomplished. You just can't. Right. But as the quarterback of this football team, I was skeptical to see, like, what is this guy really going to bring to the table? How is he going to really change the demographic of what we do here? How is it going to make us better? We wanted to see more red zone efficiency. Even though it wasn't the best, we were only 50% today. We only 2 for 4. And one of those was a pick. One of those was, and I wish he could have had it back. Yeah. But I mean, dang, we need to see that part of his game get better. I expect more. And again, I think we'll see more in the future. But here's the difference that I saw, right? Because what's the biggest thing that we talk about? And we're going to be talking about it all season. What is the biggest thing that we talk about when it comes to Jimmy G? That he's fragile, right? That we have to make sure that we protect Jimmy G because he's one hit away from getting injured. And we talked about how he's always hurt do you know why that guy's always hurt? You see the difference of a quarterback that's willing to stand in the pocket and deliver a football versus someone that will just throw it up for an interception or throw it into the ground or just check it down really fast to nobody. Jimmy G would stand in that pocket. He's not afraid to get hit. And yes, it's scary. He got hit a couple of times there. One time he came up hobbling a little bit. I was like, oh, no. So every time you see him hit the floor, you're going to get nervous. But that guy is tough as nails. And I never paid enough attention to his game or gave two rats booties about how good or what makes Jimmy G so good. One of the things that make Jimmy Garoppolo is that guy is tough as nails, man. He will stay right there in the pocket. He'll go through his progressions. He'll slide. He's got good pocket feel. And he won the game with his legs. And on that last run, a lot of people are talking about how he was aware. He knew the whole situation. He went down to one knee, kept the clock running. And yeah, not only was that beautiful, but right before he went down into his slide, he felt the pressure coming up behind. And to make sure that he passed the sticks, he does this little shuffle. He kind of kicks his feet forward so they couldn't trip him up. So the guy behind him couldn't swipe his legs and make him go down before he wanted to. Then he readjusts and slides down on one knee. So I think that little stutter, that little jump stutter, whatever you want to call that move he did to avoid getting his feet taken out from behind him before he reached the sticks was, I think, the biggest part of that play that stuck out to me. And again, like I said, I've given this guy so much crap over the years. It almost feels weird just saying this, but I never watched a Niner game focused on Jimmy G or cared to check out his stats after a game. Could care less because he was a Niner. And I know that he has his struggles throwing, in the deep ball and all that crap and being fragile, but that guy's tough as nails, dude. He is not afraid to stand in that pocket and deliver a ball. And that was the biggest difference I felt in this offense. Two things, right? His understanding of the offense right away, being a system guy, I knew he'd do that, but just his toughness, being able to have that pocket presence, sliding around, breaking the pocket, throwing some really good footballs, except for the one in the end zone, and he even owned it. He even owned it. So shout out to Jimmy G. We hope to keep you around and upright all year and healthy, but man, tough as nails, dude. Much respect. He gets my game ball on offense. Definitely goes to Jacoby Meyer on the back end. All right. Let's see. Nishtarian. Gardibo. All right, Gardibo. I can't say your whole name. I do apologize. Is it me or is Jacobs looking out of shape? No, he wasn't out of shape. He explains himself too. And running different. It's not the gut, same Pro Bowl Jacobs that we had. He talked about it, and I thought Jacobs owned it. If you guys haven't seen the Josh Jacobs locker room presser, go check it out, because he talks about he needs to get the rust off. He feels like he needs to get gelling with the team, get back into the flow of things. He does feel like he's in game shape, but he did admit that a couple of times he got a little winded and had to take himself out because of that high altitude air. That was a problem for a lot of our players. We knew that going in. Josh Jacobs even admitted that, yeah, sure, we need to do a lot of things better. Sure, the offensive line, can do better, but he even said, I missed some reads. The reads I usually can hit and that I see. He even talked about his feet. He couldn't get his feet under him today, and it's going to take some time. I respected it. Dark at Jason, is it me or did we see the Broncos dialing the same plays against our defense more than twice? I wish I had that answer, Dark. I'm not going to have that answer. I didn't pay that much attention, but a lot of it looks similar, especially when they did the quick outs and put the pressure on our corners. That I did notice throughout the game. Thank you, Jay. You know what? Here's the thing, man. Like I said, it's hard to judge the running game itself. And really, I thought they were gashing us in the run more than anything. I was really shocked to find out that we kept them under 100 yards. Now, they did get 93, so they were only 7 yards away from breaking that 100. But, that's a good stat to keep a team under 100. And that's team stats, not a solo runner stat. So I think we did a good job as a whole. But I did notice that they were putting a lot of pressure to the outside and making our corners come up and make plays. That's why I have a lot of respect. Marcus Peters was out there. Hobbs was out there making plays. I saw the rookie going out there, not being afraid, making some good hits. So, it's good to see. I don't want to see that all the time. I want us to be a little bit more aggressive, but yes. Let's say our O-line looked great. You know what? In the passing game, it did look great. It held its own. There were some blocks they were missing in the running game. They need to get a little bit better on their assignments. But just like anything else, when you're an offensive line, that takes rhythm. There's a cohesiveness that you saw there. They were able to battle through the whole game. But that offensive line, a lot like last year, remember, as the season went on, they got better and better and better. And I thought they'd come out the gates way better than they did last year. So I think our offense will be gelling by even as early as next week, if not heading into the third week. I think our offensive line will look totally different. Jimmy G is fearless. Dark, I agree 100%. He lives and dies in his system. In this system. He does live and die in this system. He was that way with the 49ers. I think he's been that way his whole career. I think that's why you see Jimmy G get banged up so easily, because he does, man. I mean, when you talk about early on with the Niners, they didn't have a great offensive line. In fact, it was pretty bad. It's playing much better this year, and even last year it looked a lot better. But Jimmy G is just not afraid to take a hit, almost to the point where you're like, hey, man, maybe just go down. But he'll stand in that pocket and throw the ball anyway. I was really impressed by his toughness today, and him not being afraid to get out of the pocket, make plays. It's in the back of his head. He hears people talk. That he's like, hey, I'm injured every year. He hears all the rumblings, man. But he went out there anyway, and I'm not going to say he balled, but he kept his composure. He stayed true to what Josh McDaniels' system does. And that's Josh McDaniels' system, man. And we have to understand this, okay? That is going to be Raider football right there. And I think you'll see it get more explosive once we get the running game going, because that'll open a lot more things for us to do, especially by getting the ball down the field more. And I think we need Josh Jacobs to do that, because he loves using the play action for that and motion and moving people around. So there's a lot for this offense to grow from, but that is the protocol Josh McDaniels offense right there, right? A lot of slants, a lot of in cuts, like get open, find your spot, and then go through your reads and get the ball out of your hand quickly, and you'll get all your yards in chunks. And a lot of the times, he'll set people up, like when he was moving Devontae Adams into the slot. He was trying to get Surtain off him. He was trying to get Devontae Adams more into the game. And more touches that Devontae gets, it's going to put more pressure on Devontae. Jacoby's just going to eat more, man. A lot of people are talking about Hunter Renfrow. Look, I still stand what I say about Hunter. I just think, he's the third option on the field. I don't think he's the prototypical type slot receiver, if I had to be honest, that McDaniels is looking for. I'm just being real. I'm not putting Hunter down. I love Hunter Renfrow, but I think they're showcasing him some. I think, there's going to be opportunities for him. We've got to remember, man, not every game is going to be Hunter Renfrow, especially when you got Devontae Adams and a guy like Jacoby Myers. Hunter Renfrow is not going to eat as much in this offense. He's just not with his speed. Now, when we get Tucker up to speed, and with that speed, if we get Carter in the game and get him loose on a nice slant, you get the matchup you're looking for. Those are the type of Wes Welker, Danny Amendola type plays that you're looking for in this offense. We didn't see that today. We didn't get a lot of that today. A lot of it was Jacoby Myers on the outside running these deep slant in routes. It worked. I thought Austin Hooper had a really nice catch. I wanted to see Michael Mayer do a little bit more. But, in time, he made a big mistake too. But you know what? In time, I've seen enough that I know it's not going to get worse. It's not. It's only going to get better. So to squeak out of there, and I mean squeak out of there, right? We could say we won by one, but Carlson would have made that field goal at the end. I thought that was a great sign of respect from the Raiders, not adding to the points. They knew they had the game won. No sense of trying to get people hurt. You take a knee, you get out of there with a victory. 17-16 Raiders. On top of the AFC West, I don't count Kansas City out. Poor Chargers. Chargers is still the same old Chargers, right? They can't hold the lead for the life of them. They always seem to lose it right there at the end. Just that coach he's on the hot seat, man. You talk about a coach that's on the hot seat. That those guys can't buy a victory in the fourth quarter. They just can't do it. They can't do it. And last year we would have lost that game, right? Last year we would have lost that game. This year we came out week one. We pulled it off. We did just enough. I wanted to do this live. I'm not going to be going live tomorrow night, guys. Usually I've been, I got to figure out now we're in the middle of the season and we're rolling. I don't think Monday night ones are going to be, it all depends on the game. I know there's Sunday night too, but I was sitting there watching that Dallas Giants game, and Dallas, it was just manhandling the Giants. So I was like, it's better off to come get this all off my chest tonight. That way I can focus in on the Buffalo and Jets game tomorrow, because I feel like that's the game I really want to watch Buffalo and see what they're about, see how much improved we need to be and how quickly we must do so. But, yeah, if you guys are still in the house, you guys haven't hit that like button yet, go ahead and hit that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet, and the notification bell so you'll be updated every time I drop another episode. But I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to talk about. Now, but I think the defense played, from a statistical standpoint, the defense played a lot better than I thought when I was watching the game. If you look at the stat sheet, because I know a lot of people are talking about how well Denver looked defensively. They got a lot of good defensive players. They got a good defensive coordinator. And I'm like, I agreed. And then I started looking up the box scores and the stats, and I was like, wow, we were pretty equal across the board. And I'm feeling like offensively we barely squeaked one out. And I felt the Denver was moving on us a bit too much. We couldn't stop them. Then you look at the stats and you kind of shake your head like, dang, if we really think that the defense of the Denver Broncos played that well, then we weren't that far off. I'm just saying. Who we got here? Chili Pepper's back in the house. Chili Pepper 28. What's up, brother? Yo. You got Richard Lyon. Good talking to you, bro. I am going to get out of here. Yeah, I'm going to be bouncing out here pretty quick. It's going to be a short one. I just wanted to give my quick game recap. You know, if it's a blowout tomorrow, look for me to jump on late. If that game gets out of hand early, we may come on and finish this conversation. If not, we'll be back Tuesday. We'll be covering some of the press stuff. We'll see what McDaniels and whoever else wants to speak later on. We'll kind of see if there's anything golden nuggets in there that we could pull out and just talk about a little bit. Plus, you know, really take a time to take this game in, look at the stat lines a little bit more. But seriously, man, if you guys have not checked the stat line out yet, go check it out. Watch how close it is, man. Watch how equal that whole game was. Total yards for the game. Broncos 260, Raiders 261. Insane. They definitely ran the ball better than we did. That's one thing that we can give them to, but we passed the ball better than they did. So, I mean, it was pretty much a wash. And if we're going to sit here and think that Denver can even be that good, then I'm going to chill out. I'm going to chill out till next week. I'm going to give the Raiders another week to impress me. I'm not saying that they played great. I'm not calling them a top 5. Like I heard Josh Jacobs said he thought Denver had a top 5 defense. If that's a top 5 defense, we're right there with them. Because they didn't even get a sack tonight. Chili Pepper 28, I think it would have been 30-something if we didn't mess up on a couple of times. You know, that's a good point. I'm trying my best this year not to focus in on it unless it was super crucial. At the end of the day, there was quite a few plays that should have went our way. I'm not saying in the referees' bad calls. No, I thought the refs called a good game. In my personal opinion, they're not going to always get it right. I don't think there was anything that stood out that was glaring. But there was something. There was the punt. There was the Marcus Peters pass interference call was legit. What other one was there? I know those two were huge. And then if you look at the interception, but the interception, it is what it is. It was legit. He shouldn't have thrown that ball. I get what he was trying to do, but if he would have threw away and just got a field goal, yeah, that game would have been a lot different. But at the end of the day, we made those mistakes. That's the way the game flowed. So to be able to make those 3 crucial mistakes and still come out with the victory, we're on the right track, guys. It's going to take some time. I always say, if you guys have been following me a long time, the first quarter of the season is the time that you have to really kind of find your mistakes and fix them as fast as you can, because you start to get into that second quarter of the season, games 5, 6, 7, 8, you got to be ready to come and play. You have to be ready. It's a whole different ball game after that. A lot of these guys are going to get the rust off. They're going to start gelling themselves. They're going to make the adjustments they need to. We have to keep up with the times or we'll start to fall behind. But off to a great start. We got a game lead in the West. Freaking amazing. We're set at prime. We could take one out of these next 2 at least and beat the Chargers. We're right where we need to be, bro. Right where we need to be. All right, let's see what's going on. Let's get to the chat here before we bounce out. Raider 7528. What's up, my brother? Jimmy G running what? Jimmy G running scares? Running scares me? Oh, I thought you were going to say something else. Yeah, you know what? Because, 1, you don't want him to see him take a hard hit. And 2, you can tell he's not that fluid runner, but he got the job done, bro. That guy is tough as nails, dude. I have a lot of here in my respect for sure. Let's see. Trunks the Goon. Marcus Marcus. Oh, well, I gotta pull this up. Marcus had an illegal contact away from the ball. Yeah, illegal contact to me, same thing. Pass interference. Like it was illegal contact, but it was hard to see whether or not he did it before he broke pocket or not. But I mean, it did cost us. It did cost us. It is what it is. Like I said, I'm not holding it against Marcus, and I'm not using it as an excuse for this football team one way or the other, good or bad. It's just one of those things. Dark, half my unbiased summary. Sean Payton. Whoop. Hold on. Where'd it go? Sorry. Half my unbiased summary. Sean Payton exposed the weakness of our defense today. Possibly. That's no knock. That's no knock to our team by any stretch of the imagination. I see it as a perfect opportunity for improvement. Dark, well said, my brother, because you know what? Whether or not in week 1 you get exposed, the beauty of it is you have 16 more games to correct it. You know, depending on how bad that weakness is, if you can get in there, dial something up, tweak a little here, tweak a little there, then you're good to go. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna get Gunsmoke Games right here. GG right here. Let's see. AFC number one hungry. That smoke. Number one hungry for that smoke. You know, the AFC number one hungry for that smoke. Yeah. The AFC in itself, if I'm reading your comment right, I don't know if you're talking about the West itself. We've been talking for years that the AFC West should have been the most competitive division in the NFL, let alone the conference. Now, I think there's some other divisions right now in the National Football League that are looking a little bit better than we are, but I think we're starting to see with Sean Payton in the mix, Russell Wilson getting back a little bit to his old ways. I'm not going to say Russell was Russell, the old Russell of the old, but Russell looked a lot better than he did last year. Russell's going to make some plays. They still have a strong defense. I'm not taking anything for granted what we did today. They came out and played the heart out. They had the home crowd behind them. I think we held our own. I think it was great. But and you saw the Chargers. I mean, that was a great game, wasn't it? The Dolphins-Chargers. Dang, what an exciting game. Dolphins are going to be hard to beat, but the Chargers continue to choke. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like the AFC West is going to be tough. So, I mean, we could take it early. It's going to help us down the stretch. Let me see. Raider 7528. He got hurt twice today. He won't make it. He won't make it through a full season. Scrambling. No, you know what? I want him to play his game because if you try to hide, you're going to get hurt regardless. So the way that I look at it, as long as he can stay healthy for the first 6 to 8 games, you know, I'm not opposed for the young rook to get in there and get some reps to see what we really got there. Raider 7528. Like I said, we'll never be able to take that fragile tag off Jimmy G. It is what it is. All we could do is try to protect him the best we can. But if we're going to win games, Jimmy has to be Jimmy. And that's what he was today. He's a tough dude, man. He stays in there. He takes his hit. He's not, even if he gets hurt, he's taking off. He's trying to make a play. I respect it. Let me see here. I meant to say part one of 2. I had to break it in half since YouTube limits you to 200 words or so. You know what, Dark? It works for me, bro, because my voiceover's not working again tonight, so I'm having to read these things. And, you know, I know you've been on a lot of my lives, and it's not easy for me to read, even though I got it magnified to nearly max right now. But I'm reading it. I'm taking care of it. Gunsmoke, S. Okay, Gunsmoke. Our line will get better. 100%. I don't, offensive line and defensive line, I'm hoping it gets better. I think I want to see more Kuntz, though. I'm not going to lie. I think I need to see more Kuntz. Gunsmoke and spread the ball out. You know, I think that's the one thing. I would have loved to see Hunter get some grabs, and I would like to see the tight ends involved more. but I think they did a good job of just filling the game out. Like I said, Devontae had 66 yards receiving, and I think Jacoby had 87. That's a pretty good mix for those two, man. And if it's about winning, that's all that matters. If we start losing in those numbers or like that, maybe a little Devontae diva may come out. I haven't seen Devontae be much of a diva, but I thought Devontae had a great game. He battled hard. You knew Patrick Surtain was going to take a level up. So, he's just going to have to, and Devontae's still 8. He's still 8. You're good, Jason. I appreciate you. No, I appreciate you more, Dark, man. Thank you for being here, and thank you for always bringing up some good comments and stuff, man. I really appreciate you. Sometime next week, too, I'm going to start figuring out how to do mods on this dang thing for sure. So I'm actually trying to mess with it at the moment, too. So I want to start making some of y'all mods, the ones that I know are rocking with me and are here all the time. Because hopefully the lives will get a little busier, and I'll definitely need some help controlling the chat since I can barely see it as it is. But I think I'm going to wrap it up there, guys, man. Hey, like I said, no plans at the moment to be live tomorrow night unless that game's a blowout. I really want to focus in and see what Buffalo's got so I could start doing my game breakdown for next week. Gunsmoke, Adams definitely 2-0 on Surtain. No, he's still that was a solid game. Minus a touchdown. Putting 66 yards up is no joke in the National Football League. So I agree with you there, Gunsmoke. That Gunsmoke games, that one is, I give that one to Adams for sure. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to call it a night. Monday, work tomorrow. I got to do that 8 to 5. Like I said, if it's a blowout tomorrow, I'll jump on. We'll hang out. Maybe I'll upload the Josh McDaniels presser if he does one tomorrow. Sheldon Brown, Shawshank, I see you right here, brother. Thank you for popping in. Diablo looked like his old self. Hey, Diablo looked good, bro. I really liked it. He looks improved. Matching, let's see. Merrick looks kind of suspect, but he made some plays, but he made one crucial tackle. Merrick's got a lot to prove. He's going to be feeling the heat a little bit. He's got to step his game up. 3-0 actually, Gunsmoke. Okay, 3-0, let's do it. Combo. Later, Night. Later, Combo. I appreciate you, brother. And he's saying later to the chat. Night, bro. Good stream. Thank you, Gunsmoke Games. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here. And hey, Robert Pena finally jumped in the house. Robert Pena, what's up? Jason, salute. Raiders. Yes. 1-0, top of the AFC West. Let's try to hold on to it as long as we can, man. It'd be awesome. Dark, salute nation, salute. Sheldon, good night, bro. Night, Shawshank. Take care, brother. Hey, pretty soon, by the end of the season, I will have the phone lines back up. If everybody guys know, I used to run phone line system. Slowly but surely, I'm going to transition this into a Raider radio type show where we'll be taking calls as much as possible. I definitely got to get a producer in the house to help me with that. But the gear is here. I just got to get a few things more lined up and stuff. But again, 1-0. Yes, sir. 1-0. Top of the AFC West. Let's keep this train moving. Let's keep growing with each game, each week. Let's get a little better. Josh Jacobs is due. Devontae Adams is due. And you already see Max. He's already being Max. All right, guys. Till next time, stay Raider strong. Night out.